welcome back. Let's take you to this story. Moehydien Pangaker has admitted to violating his parole, but has denied sexually and physically abusing any of his family members. The alleged child murderer and rapist has been testifying in the Western Cape High Court for a third day. He's on trial for the rape and murder of 8-year-old Tazne van Wyk back in 2020. Let's go to Nobesuthu Hejana, who's covering those court proceedings, and she joins us now live. Nobesuthu, a third day with Pangaker on the stand. What has he told the court today? He's still denying this.
Certainly, Masejo, what we heard from Moehydien Pangaker this morning is that he in fact he admitted to court that he did violate his parole conditions when he took up a job opportunity in Johannesburg to work as a bouncer at a butchery. But when he was cross-examined by the state regarding how he would make contacts with the person who hired him, he could not really say. In fact, at some point he was not sure of the name of the person who hired him, and he did say that he did not take the number of his new boss. And the state also saying that why would he then sell his shack in Ladysmith for 3,000 rand to take up a job that would only pay him 50 rands or 100 rand a day. And he did say that, as a man, he had to do what he had to do by taking up the job and finding any ways to make, or rather to generate an income. But we also heard in court was that at the time he was staying in Johannesburg working as a bouncer, he was staying in a shelter, and also saying that some of the family members who have been accusing him of sexual abuse and assault, those charges are in fact all lies, and he still does not understand why they were only brought up when he was arrested for the murder, the raping and kidnapping of Tazne van Wyk. And he's also told the court in a very shocking manner that he was in fact a victim of a rape or sexual abuse from one of his family members who had brought up a case of sexual assault, and also denying that he took part in any of those crimes.
Quite interesting testimony there, Nobesuthu, gasping as well, I can imagine, in the public gallery. But are you right now on a lunch break, or is court coming back? And if it is, what do we expect next?
Well, the state is still going through all of the 27 charges, but it's currently now dealing with all those who were, the testimonies were done in camera. So unfortunately, we can't really specify some of the details of the cross-examination that has taken place before lunch, but we do know that the state prosecutor will also continue with those 27 charges. But we are adjourned. We will be back just after 2 o'clock, around 2:15. But at this stage, we've seen some of the members in the gallery when Mr. Pangaker was talking about, giving details about him, claiming that he was indeed a victim. Some of them could not really understand. There were some mumbles within the gallery where people seemed shocked that a very strong man would not be able to defend himself from the people that is accusing of sexually assaulting him.
And Nobesuthu, in the public gallery, are there family members of Tazne van Wyk there? How are they reacting to this testimony? How do they feel?
When I spoke to Tazne van Wyk's father yesterday with regards to Mr. Pangaker not knowing at times Tazne's name, and also saying that, or talking about his encounters with Tazne before he claims that they were also abducted to the area of Worcester and Laingsburg. I spoke to him just before court just to find out how does he feel about his testimonies, and he said that he's very shocked at how Mr. Pangaker is now claiming of not knowing the family, and saying that he will only speak after the trial because they're still trying to process all of what is happening here in court. So the family is still shocked, and there were times where Carmen walked out when Mr. Pangaker was talking about what happened, or alleging what happened to Tazne, when he was talking about the 4 passengers who he claimed they've murdered Tazne. So the family was very uncomfortable, but they did come back to court and to listen to the rest of the proceedings.
And just very quickly, Nobesuthu, just remind us exactly how Pangaker became the main suspect in this particular case after Tazne went missing back in 2020. How did the police, trace the crime to him?
Well, it was after some of the people in the area of Ravensmith and others who say that they saw him around the Parole area boarding a taxi. They've told police that he was the last person to be seen with Tazne or traveling with Tazne. So he became the suspect in that particular case, and his pictures were out, shared on social media, and with the police also naming him as the person of interest. And he was later, just 10 days after Tazne went missing, he was arrested in Craydog, where police also alleged that he was the one who pointed out where the body was. But at this stage, we are hearing from him that he's not aware of such, and saying that he was not behind the murder of Tazne van Wyk. In fact, blaming it to the 4 passengers that he claims were the ones who abducted her and Tazne, driving to the Worcester area and back to Lanesburg, where he says that he was tied up at the back of the bakkie and could not defend himself or assist Tazne. We also heard him yesterday in court when he was asked by the defense, asking him why he did not report what happened to him and Tazne when he had an opportunity when he was dropped off by the side of the road. And he said that he feared that people would assume that he was responsible for what happened to Tazne.
All right, Nobesuthu Hejana, live for us in court for that particular court case. Let's leave it there for now. We'll catch up with Nobesuthu for an update a little later on what happened in court.